Making the public sector better is no easy feat. Citizens are rightfully demanding more from their governments, and in response, governments are constantly seeking to improve the delivery of public services. Hi, I'm Stephen McHugh, and over the past 2 weeks, we've been taking a look at public sector modernization in Jamaica. So far, we've explored the social, political, and economic struggles that ignited the push for transformation and looked at some of the strategies used by the government of Jamaica to improve its operations. Coming up, we take a deeper dive into government at your service. By now, there is wide consensus that public sector modernization has to be an ongoing initiative necessary to keep pace with the emergent and changing local and global developments. So as the 2000s progressed, Jamaica's program of reform began to converge at the points of technological advancement, efficiency, and service excellence as it strengthened efforts to institutionalize public sector modernization. Jamaica's bold journey to institutionalize public sector modernization in the 2000s saw the public sector being presented in a new way, with keen attention being given to areas such as customer service, human resource management, governance, accountability, and technology.
We believe that a modernized public service is the springboard for the economic growth and the social advancement of our people. Our public service must provide the environment for the creation of wealth in the country.
The vision was to at least identify specific entities to start to modernize, to become more performance-oriented, efficient, effective, economical, and to provide a quality service to the public that would improve the image of the public sector. So there was a need to implement it for several reasons. As I said, the poor quality of service that was being provided. There were complaints. We had a bloated public sector. We had a situation where it was a relatively high wage bill for the public sector. It was second to the debt servicing in terms of expenditure.
Part of improving the overall image of the government in the eyes of the public involved focusing on customer service, which was another key part of the modernization process. Here, the government worked to provide a more customer-centric approach and improve service delivery in the sector.
Most importantly, I would say, is the turnaround times for doing things. So for example, in those early days, it took like about 26 to 30 weeks to check what we call a survey plan in our service division. But we cut it down to about 6 to 8 weeks with some of the improved processes because we digitized some of those processes.
The creation of the executive agencies was one means because their own approach to the management of resources and so on was meant to be customer-centric. But specifically, we followed this model of citizens' charters. So you could go into an office and see what is it you should expect, what are the sort of considerations if the service delivery did not measure up to the standards that were prescribed, and some specific things. How many times the telephone should ring before you get an answer, and so on. So we found that the Citizens' Charter resulted in a great improvement in the response of the customers.
The government of Jamaica wanted to make a big difference in how customers were treated. There was a significant push to have public sector entities serve the public in a renewed sense of excellence. So a lot of training was done, persons were educated. We took base data, we wanted to know how did customers feel. We did statistics on customer satisfaction, and we tried to measure our own performance after we have done that.
Achieving higher levels of service must be sustainable. In this regard, special attention was given to training and development of public sector workers. There was now substantial investment in skills development and training programs to help public sector workers adapt to new technologies while creating a more agile and responsive public sector that could address the evolving needs of the country.
Mine was created to provide learning and development opportunities for public officers. What we have been doing over the years is building capability for service excellence with a focus on management and leadership development. There's a direct correlation between capability and transformation performance and service excellence, all right? And so I would conclude that there was an appreciation by the decision makers at the time that for the public service to be modernized, for it to be transformed, then you needed to ensure that capability was being built across public officers, you know, not just in technical areas, but also in management and leadership.
Institutionalizing public sector modernization also included a strong commitment to good governance and accountability. The government began to strengthen institutional integrity by promoting transparency and ethical behavior, as well as tackling corruption in the public sector. This was aimed at building trust and confidence among citizens and businesses, but at the same time, it helped to lay the groundwork for sustained economic development. Modernization in the public sector also looked at financial accountability and efforts to improve public finance management through the introduction of reforms such as the Financial Administration and Audit Act.
We also did things like we found that the public sector was getting a bad reputation when they appeared before the Public Accounts Committee. It gave the impression of untidy accounting, even corruption and so on. So one of the things we did in our performance management approach was to have an officer in the Cabinet Office who liaised with the accounting people in the various ministries, especially those that were problematic, to sort out these problems so that when they appeared before the Public Accounts Committee, they were much better prepared and gave a better impression, were more articulate in expressing themselves and so on.
For the government, public sector modernization also looked like solid investment in building out strong ICT systems and platforms that would automate processes and improve access to government services.
We created online applications. We did our website. We allowed persons to be able to search electronically in-house so that you can provide information to individuals who came.
We went from a manual system basically to a digitized environment. And coming out of that, we had several products. We had what we call our flagship product was our Elan Jamaica, where we had a certain amount of data, specified land-related data, that we put it out on the internet and persons could subscribe and get the data.
Jamaica's modernization strategy in the 2000s provided a sound platform on which to implement initiatives to move the public sector forward. Nevertheless, a review of the strategy found that while it confirmed the soundness of the modernization vision, there were major weaknesses in the strategy.
We were grappling with a number of issues to include a high debt bill, And we had a bloated public sector that was not highly productive. A group of consultants chaired by Professor Rex Nettleford, they were asked to look at the public sector and to provide some recommendations that could be considered. And among the areas noted of concern for not just the general public, but certainly for the government, were among them, one, the size of the public sector, the efficiency of the public sector, the fact that the public, they were demanding more of the public sector in terms of providing an efficient, effective service. It motivated the government to do something about it. The rationale behind the public sector transformation was, how can you systematically transform the sector to make it more efficient and effective, and effective not just in terms of outputs and outcomes, but cost effective.
This plan focused on the rationalization of public sector bodies with the aim of identifying their relevance, effectiveness of their roles, and determining how best their functions should be carried out.
The actual transformation unit was not there for implementation, but to do the diagnostics and to make the recommendations and to look holistically. Again, extrapolating somewhat from the PSMP model to look at what were the core functions of government and what were the areas where we had redundancies and overlapping, what were things to be privatized or contracted out or abolished, because government should not be doing those things, and therefore a more streamlined approach to governance and management of the entire public sector.
Beyond that, the plan also focused on assessing staffing needs to improve workforce productivity and enhance service delivery. This involved implementing performance-based management systems, training programs, and technology-driven solutions.
The private sector, as I said, was an integral part of our consultative monitoring group, but not only that. They financially supported the process by providing 2 experts in the field of human resource management and ICT and finance to provide support to the public sector transformation unit. We had this sort of legislative framework to facilitate what it was that we needed to do. What we really needed, though, was an updating of existing legislation. For example, the public service regulations, the staff orders. In terms of the legal framework, I would have said we had the framework in place, a bit archaic, needed to be updated, and that has been done to some extent. I think further updating of some of our existing laws, that I would say is now critical.
But there was more. The plan supported actions to strengthen financial accountability and transparency in the public sector by implementing robust financial management systems, improving budgeting processes, and enhancing monitoring and evaluation mechanisms. Actions of the early 2000s and beyond have revolutionized the way Jamaican citizens interact with the public sector. But as we look to further design the future of our country's public sector, ongoing modernization initiatives must be a key driving factor. So the story continues with the rise of critical bodies like the Transformation Implementation Unit and the implementation of a policy statement for transformation.
We have enough studies, we have enough history, we have analyzed the problem. Now is the time to get it done.
You will learn more about the new wave of public sector transformation in the next and final episode of this docu-series on public sector transformation in Jamaica. I'm Stephen McHugh. Bye for now.